It is the final of Players' Championship 23, live from Barnsley Metrodome. And once again, we have a Grand Slam champion, Gerwyn Price, the world number 7, fighting it out for one of these Pro Tour titles. Twice this year, he's made a final, and on both occasions, he has been successful. It was a superb weekend from him earlier on this year, back in April.
Gerwyn to throw first.
Sorry, February, when he won them. But it's a new opponent for him, a guy he's never faced before, Jose De Sousa. He became the first Portuguese ever to make a PDC ranking final just a matter of weeks ago. Can he become the first Portuguese to win a ranking title as well? Chris Murphy alongside me, Dan Dawson, for De Sousa, the Portuguese number 1, and Price, 99. The Welsh number 1.
Yes, well, it may not be a surprise to many viewers on PDC TV over the course of this Players' Championship campaign to see Jose De Sousa in this final.
90.
It may be a surprise to Gerwyn Price, and he may be able to take him by surprise, having never met him before. We've just seen him absolutely storm past Peter Wright.
130.
To book his place in this decider. A very, very comfortable win for Jose. After Peter Wright had beaten Michael
55.
van Gerwen and Gary Anderson and looked on course to extend his unbeaten record at Barnsley Metrodome to 20 matches, but it was Jose who brought an end to that run, and he may well be more than a match 100. For Gerwyn Price. I know that you, Dan, won't be surprised to see him here.
No, the only surprising thing about Jose De Sousa is what weird counting and weird routes he goes for.
Shot selection and lack of it sometimes.
Yeah.
Tried 3 double tops for those of you who weren't watching the semi-final over on Stream 2 for 120
92.
in the very first leg against Wright.
He tried that shot earlier on in the day as well against Ryan Meikle. Price looking at the 18 segments. Now he wants double 7.
74.
And misses outside.
Is it 2 double tops then now?
Is it? Yes, it is! Oh, and he's got nowhere near it, to be fair.
60.
He's got one of them.
Well, comedy darts. Maybe it's part of his ploy. Do something ridiculous in the first leg and melt their minds. Has the Iceman melted?
11.
Maybe he has. Double 10 for Jose. It's
Game
there,
shot.
And it's a break of throw, and Jose De Sousa takes an early lead. Now, it was only back in June that he made that final, and it was in Wigan. And he was beaten by James Wade. He lost it 8-5. But he averaged 99 almost in that final. He played superbly, and we've seen him do that all the way through this year. His first year in PDC darts. To make 2 finals is impressive. He could win this.
58.
Well, he's on course to be in the top 64 at the end of his first season, which is very impressive, meaning he won't be worrying at all about losing his tour card. Well, he won't be worrying about that now for next year.
57.
It only took him 9 events to reach a quarter-final on the Pro Tour. Took him 16 events to reach a semi, then reached a quarter-final on the Euro Tour, his only appearance of the year.
85.
As you mentioned, Dan, that Players' Championship 18 run to the final in Wigan. Since then, he's actually lost first round in 4 consecutive tournaments, but he's turned up here in Barnsley, and he could be on the brink of picking up a title.
Well, that's the thing. What we're seeing from him is he sort of jobs around, and there'll be first, second, third round exits. But when he has a day when he's getting it right, he's taking another step, a quarter-final, then a semi, then a final. This could be the next step.
Certainly could be. Wins against Nathan Rafferty, Steve Beaton, Ryan Meikle, who is leapfrogged in the world rankings as a result of that. John Henderson, Jermaine Waterman, who did miss a match start to beat him. And then Peter Wright. 7-3 in the semis.
Well, Price just getting his sums right here. He should be looking at the 19s.
At 183.
Yeah, done the right thing to ask the match official what was remaining.
54.
That is in order. You can ask them what you've scored and what you've got left.
He can't tell you how to go about hitting what you've got left, though.
Neither can this man.
What are you doing, Joe? Where are you going?
180.
Going there. 180. Superb setup shot from Jose De Sousa. What was he thinking of? What was controversial about that?
56.
Well, that's his 18th of the day. Is it followed by a second leg of the final? It is.
Game shot.
I'm just starting to wonder if he is a... what's Gerwyn Price looking at here? Just checking that he is throwing first. Yeah, I'm just wondering if he kind of knows what he's doing a little bit more than we give him credit for.
45.
I'm not so sure.
I
mean, bearing in mind earlier on this year, you commentated on a game where he thought someone had won the leg and hit the double, so he just started throwing at the treble 20, and he still had like 8 to get.
Well, he's just hit back-to-back 180s. Carry on throwing at the treble 20.
He's very good at hitting the treble 20. Just don't go for it when you've only got 16 left or whatever.
100.
That's my expert advice.
Yeah, on that particular occasion, perhaps he didn't know what he was doing at all. But just wonder, with the ploy he's had in the first couple of first legs in the semi and final,
100.
he took an edge to decide to just throw a dart where the other two already were. Is he a secret master of the dark arts? Or is he just confused?
96.
Maybe it's some of the latter, which unwittingly makes him a master of the former. But I tell you what, do not underestimate him. Because
90.
he's so dangerous. It has to be said, Gerwyn Price has not got going at all here. Today he's been averaging, what, more than 98 for the day. He's played really well. And yet, the opening 2.5, 3 legs of this is nowhere near. And what a run he's had. Look at the names he's beaten.
140.
3 world champions back to back to back.
Well, Gerwyn Price will not be going for 3 double tops, but he'll be hoping to
91.
go for one of them at the end of this combination. Because if he doesn't get a dart at it, and he's not going to get a dart at it, De Sousa has the chance to break his throw for the second
38.
time.
All over the shop at the minute, Gerwyn Price. No consistency to the game.
Game shot.
And Jose De Sousa has broken the Welshman's throat. This is the world number 7 and Grand Slam champion here, who is on the ropes against a guy who has never won a PDC title. He's only been playing PDC darts this year. That is it. We did see him at the World Championship, of course, because he came through the qualifier, and have a game that seemed to last a decade with Michael Barnard. He was actually on the 9-darter in that game, but it was an island of brilliance that wasn't surrounded by anything good.
Well, Gerwyn Price
140.
just had to pause then as De Sousa wandered back from the hockey. We'll just keep an eye on that. Has Price taken umbrage with something?
60.
Yeah, we did see De Sousa at the World Championship all the way back in 2012 as a qualifier, but he was beaten by Devon Peterson, averaging around 75.
83.
He's a very different dart player to the one he was back then.
He certainly looks it. And Gerwyn Price might need to... You can see he's trying to get some aggression into that game. Something's got to change. And so maybe a bit of aggression. He can harness it very well. That might help him raise his level.
Well, I didn't see his
140.
match against Adrian Lewis as I was commentating the other stream, but I certainly heard some of it. There were a couple of moments where the roar from Gerwyn Price was audible on the next stream, which is next door, towards the end of the match.
100.
Yeah, I mean, there was a bit of that, but in actual fact, he was quite good-natured for most of it. He just seemed to be in control for most of that game.
The kind of
62.
point I would make is that now the hall is empty. Well, why not, if you need to get yourself going? Oh, this could be huge. Double 12.
129.
Almost a Portuguese perler. But the Iceman has a chance to get back in the match.
Double 8 for Price. And it's
Game
a
shot.
breaker throw, and you can hear the come on from Gerwyn Price, because one narrow miss at double 12 has saved him from being 4-0 down in the final.
Price has won, as you mentioned, 2 titles already this season.
97.
He's looking to take his overall title tally in the PDC to 6 with victory in this final. A man who I think it's easy to forget, hasn't been around that long as a professional darts player.
180.
But it seems that new kids on the block, or not kids, some of them, but new players on the block just take the world by storm of late. Rob Cross started that trend.
41.
Well, everybody in their first year is going to be held up against Rob Cross, obviously. He became world champion. But Jose De Sousa is having an excellent and incredible
140.
first year, and he very nearly gave himself a chance. I mean, can you imagine?
It was almost, it was a couple of centimetres away from a reverse
100.
9 darter then, wasn't it? 141, 180, 180.
Yeah. Oh, he just can't stop hitting it.
Well, I'm glad he did stop,
105.
because I did worry for a moment there.
$43.
Price, a man who feels that this leg is beyond him.
Yeah, and it is on his own throw. But a mistake here. Shake of the head. Price a long way behind and has the
36.
luxury of that slip.
$60.
Wow, the Portuguese might have broken the Welshman's spirit
Game
here,
shot.
because it's a 13 darter to break straight back. He is halfway to the title. He is averaging 100. That is 15 points more than Gerwyn Price right now. At the moment, from what we've seen in this final, there is only one winner, and that is the man who has never, ever won a PDC title before.
121.
Yeah, Price has been much, much better than this throughout this afternoon's action. A couple of averages in 3 figures, one in particular up at 109
180.
against Dimitri van den Berg, where there was plenty more of that. And he needs to somehow drag that kind of performance level out of himself.
Well, he did come from 4-1 down to Rob Cross when it looked
140.
like he was dead and buried. Rob Cross was by far the better player. Rob Cross was threatening to average 110 in that game. But Price kind of dug in and he improved.
47.
But he was only allowed to do that because Rob Cross went off the boil and started missing chances and missed darts that would have put him in complete control. I'm not sure Jose De Sousa is going to do that.
96.
Well, this pair have never met. Price will be aware that De Sousa's had a couple of runs, but he's kind of got the look of a man in the background. Like, who is this guy? He's been in one Euro Tour, not been in
140.
many TV events. He's probably never shared the same practice room. And having beaten the players that you've mentioned he has beaten, Gerwyn Price may have been forgiven for thinking, I
90.
will win this match. You certainly think he should.
But should he from this position?
Will he from this position? Can he
95.
from this position? Because this position might be about to get even more difficult. Double top for a 5-1 lead. And
Game
again he
shot.
pins it. And Gerwyn Price really does have a mountain to climb now.
Well, we have seen a number
100.
of first-time winners on the Pro Tour this year. Glenn Durrant, of course, picking up his first PDC title. So Willie O'Connor get his first. Harry Ward, perhaps the most
140.
left field winner out of the bunch, the young man from Derbyshire. Now, we've seen Jose this year play some really good stuff, and we've mentioned it
43.
as a potential first new winner. But this is not where the draw has opened up or anything. He might well end up beating Peter Wright and Gerwyn Price, 2 of the top 7 in the world, back to back,
140.
and beating them quite convincingly to take the title.
It's been very, very solid stuff from De Sousa, but I have to say I can't recall a match in which I've seen Gerwyn
140.
Price score so many visits of 43, 36. Just those loose darts too often for Price that is failing to put pressure on
60.
his opponent.
And you've seen him a couple of times in this game seem to try and steal himself and fire himself up and try and get something going. And then Jose De Sousa's just put in a really
96.
solid few visits, and it's just knocked the stuffing out of him. He looks like he's almost resigned to this.
Well, this setup shot suggests
131.
Well, it suggests that Jose De Sousa can't really count. We already knew that. But it suggests that this might have to go from Gerwyn Price. And he's not even going to get a dart at the bullseye.
Well,
39.
De Sousa, I've seen him 3 times today now leave double 15 or try to. And he's splitting it anyway.
Game
So,
shot.
yeah, it's just he can't count. But it doesn't matter because he only needs 1 dart for the double and it's there. And Jose De Sousa is averaging 101 and he's 2 legs away from, well, 2 legs away potentially from annihilating a reigning major champion.
Yeah, and his average is still in 3 figures. It is a wonderful performance, on course perhaps to be his best of the
60.
afternoon. He did defeat Nathan Rafferty 6-4 with an average of 102.5, but he could be somewhere near that by the end of this match, particularly if this match ends in 2 legs' time.
Well, he's just not stopping. He's just not stopping. He might have saved his best performance for the final. And this is
180.
absolutely astonishing. Jose De Sousa. I mean, Portugal isn't even a darts-mad country. It hasn't got a huge history in darts. I can't think
95.
of a player from the past that you could hold up and go, oh, the famous Portuguese darts player. And yet, Jose De Sousa might be about to put himself in the history books.
121. $49.
Oh, they weren't considered as good a darting nation to have a World Cup team, were they, Portugal?
No.
De Sousa flying the flag single-handedly.
Well, things might change.
40.
On a 2-darter.
$97.
To go within a leg of a piece of history. Is it tops?
80.
Well, he got one of them again.
Well, Price cannot
100.
complete the combination, and now De Sousa 2 10s, 2 5s, 1
Game
leg
shot.
away from the title.
This is one of the most convincing victories we have seen all year on the Pro Tour. Peter Wright had an 8-1 win
40.
against Joe Cullen where he played sublimely. Glenn Durrant won his 2nd title beating Darius Labanauskas 8-1. But Glenn Durrant and Peter Wright are guys who have won and won and won, title after title in their careers.
100.
Jose's not done that. This would be his first PDC title, and he might end up smashing up the world number 7 in the final.
Yeah, certainly is the case,
180.
and that is an ironic look to the skies from Gerwyn Price, having fired in a maximum finally in this final. But look at the response. It was a perfect first start.
140.
Managed to get another one in there as well. He's just solid all the way throughout. Just no sign of nerves, no fear of his opponent,
86.
anything like that. Jose De Sousa playing like an old hand, not like a man who is a professional for the first season on the PDC Pro Tour.
60.
Not quite enough to leave a finish, but he's breathing down Gerwyn Price's neck, and this is not... The Iceman is going to throw his worst performance
65.
of the day, but he's been put under pressure, and that's told. He stood up to 3 consecutive world champions and beaten them. Cross, Durrant, Lewis, and then this Portuguese
60.
guy who's never won a title before has put him under so much pressure that he's not been able to handle it.
Well, he missed double 12 for a 1-4-1
58.
in the 4th leg of this match. It's the only leg that Gerwyn Price won. He's got another go at the same combination. He's not going to do it. Price finished 70-something on that occasion. He's in the same range here.
85.
And it has to go.
And it might not, because it's 15 and bull. 1 dot of the bull. And
38.
Gerwyn Price does not really get close, and Jose De Sousa steps up to try and make history.
Well, it's a bad dart. He's disgusted with himself. I think you can let yourself off that one, Jose.
36.
But he's not yet over the finish line. The double to win the match is the hardest one to hit. The one to hit the title is even harder than that. But Price has made this tricky for himself. And De Sousa will be
17.
back. Angry Iceman. And it's delight
Game
for De
shot and the
Sousa,
match.
who becomes the first Portuguese player to win a PDC title. Jose De Sousa makes history here at Players' Championship 23. The man from Lisbon has demolished Gerwyn Price in today's decider and trousered £10,000 for his trouble. What a performance in the final. Absolutely dominant stuff from De Sousa. He takes the title, and we're going to hear what it means to him as Jose De Sousa, the winner, has a chat with Dan.
Congratulations. What does this mean to you to win a PDC title?
Well, I'm very emotional. My first year here, and I think I changed things and for better. You know, my first title, it's a dream for me. I play against all the best players in the world, so I'm so happy, so happy.
We saw you at the World Championship 7 years ago.
Yeah.
And then this year, after playing the Worlds, coming through Q School, you've improved so massively. You really have shown that you can mix it with the best players in the world. You've beaten Peter Wright, you've hammered Gerwyn Price in the final. This is incredible.
Yeah, it's amazing. I mean, this proved to me I can play just like them. You know, I can beat everybody if I continuously play this way. You know. Yes, 7 years ago I don't have experience at all. So I started to play in serious steel darts since August last year. Yeah.
So just over 1 year playing steel tip darts properly.
Yeah. Because unfortunately in Spain we have just one time of a year something to fight in steel darts. You know, it's very difficult there. So I have the lucky to come to school, school, and I'm not qualified direct, but with the points I make, I have the I don't know, the lucky, or I don't know, to qualify for the card PDC. So this for me, it's, I don't know, it's something incentive for me.
Incentive for you
to continue my work.
You live in Madrid, don't you, in Spain?
Yes.
But you're from Portugal.
Yeah.
If you go to Wikipedia and search Portuguese darts players, there is one name there, and it's yours. You've done something historic.
Yes.
That's is that a big thing for you to do it? You know, to be the first from your country to win a PDC title.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's the first player from Portugal win some title in PDC, but there's good players there, you know. But I'm fight 25 years to come here, and at last I can do this, you know. For me it's I don't have words to explain my feelings, you know. Just this moment. I want to thank, if you permit me, my sponsors. Mac, it's a good sponsor, good friend. Other sponsors like Trinidad Condor, and one in special, Kiko Hernandez, Triple 20. He helped me to start this year in PDC.
Well, what a year it's been, and there is plenty more to come. Jose De Sousa, the first ever Portuguese winner of a PDC darts title. He has just dominated in the final against the world number 7 and reigning Grand Slam champion, Gerwyn Price. Once again, here in the Players' Championship Series, it's where dreams come true. First-time titles for the likes of Harry Ward, Glenn Durrant, Willie O'Connor, and now Jose De Sousa. He's put his name in the history books, and he'll be back tomorrow for another of the double-header. And there we go. Send in the clowns. We'll see you tomorrow.
Brilliant. Well, as you know, they're not mine.